Hello. Hi.
Hello,
Hello. Yes, I've just got you now. Yeah, I'm here to check in for an Emirates airline flight. The board is saying that it's at row 13, but it's totally empty. There's no one there to check in. I was just wondering if I'm in the right place. Bye-bye. That was wild. Turns out I'm so keen to get home, I'm here too early and the gate's not open. That's very unlike me. She might as well have said is, I could have stayed in bed another hour and a half. Anyway, coffee. I know I'm sleepy, but I did just have a conversation with someone at a virtual terminal that looked like a call center in a different part of the world. That was quite cool. There's like no staff around here, and I can't decide if that's a good thing or not, but to not have a physical person to talk to and you just go and press a button and then someone tunes in straight away, I suppose in a way it's quite good because they've got access to a computer to give you updates and stuff. So anyway, it's so early. It's like 20 to 6. Where's gonna be open? Can't do that now. Can't do that now. Not exactly what I was looking for this hour of the morning. I'm gonna keep looking. It's a bit too early. It's the 5th hour of the day. I'm not quite sure I'm ready for ramen just now. It would appear the only other option is Indian for breakfast. Not sure I'm there yet either. This place would have been it, wouldn't it? This would have been it. Steak and egg for sure. Am I about to do? I think I'm about to do ramen for breakfast. Turns out you order first. Order before you sit down. And I went for something that I would definitely have at 6 in the evening, not 6 in the morning. Check this out. I thought these were for display, but there's an actual cracked boiled egg here, and these are all boiled and just put in this jar in case you casually fancy a boiled egg while you wait. The fact that one's pre-cracked doesn't, not the most appetizing. Pretty cool to see this guy cooking it up right now though. I am strangely looking forward to this now. I mean, it's really not the time of day for it, but the guy's filling me with confidence. Okay, so it's home time. Now, I've come down with a cold. I think on Gumball, you're riding straight adrenaline. We've just done a 3,000-mile, unbelievable adventure of a lifetime. It was Saigon, Vietnam, to Singapore, via Malaysia, Cambodia, Thailand, ultimately into Singapore. And you're just riding adrenaline the whole way because you're driving all day, party all night. And I've been really fortunate to do, this would have been my 14th Gumball rally experience. And it was the best by far and away. It's just incredible. Cambodia, if any Cambodians are watching, Cambodia was a highlight. I mean, that country is so beautiful. The people are so passionate. And the crowds that we had turn out for us was just remarkable. But I've crashed. We finished in Singapore for the Formula One Grand Prix, which was magic. It's a night race that I've always wanted to go to. And because I had 4 days there, my body went, was it time out now? And clearly, burning the candle at both ends, punctuated by thousands of miles of driving and intense adrenaline-fueled action, my voice went, picked up a cold, just in time for a, I think, 17.5-hour journey home. So I've got 2 7-hour flights, Singapore to Dubai, that's a 7-hour flight, punctuated by about an hour and a half layover, another 7-hour flight to Heathrow, and then a 2-hour drive back home from Heathrow. So hopefully this is going to wake me up. Thank you very much. That looks great. That looks great. Thank you.
This one you can have free.
Free?
Yeah.
Free egg?
Yeah.
Thanks very much. Free egg. Iced tea. Definitely asked for that hot, but that's fine. This looks great. Look at this. All of a sudden, in the mood for this. Mega. Yeah, so the best part of 17 and a half, 18 hours of travel now. And then back home to the family. Fortunately, my wife joined me in Singapore for the Grand Prix. Our little dude stayed at home with the grandparents. I cannot wait to get back home and see him, which will be amazing. But because we were both on a very different schedule, Lucinda had to fly home basically half a day earlier than me. So we're on separate flights. So looking forward to getting back. A splash of normality. And then I've really got to think about the final quarter, like towards the end of the year, because we had such an incredible 2 months off the back of going to Macau with the Koenigsegg Jesko, then into Hong Kong. That rolled straight into Monterey Car Week. We were back home for the best part of 10 days, and then we've come straight out here for Gumball. Those last 2 months, content's been incredible. I would like to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's tuned in, watched, commented. Based on your comments, you've really enjoyed it. And the subscribers. So we ran a sunglasses competition for brand JWW sunglasses, giving a pair of those away every single day for those who liked, commented, subscribed. One person was picked at random. They'll be announced soon, because we got Damon and Max, Nico, myself choosing them throughout the rally route. And we're on the final stretch over on the main Mr. JWW channel to 1 million subscribers. Excuse me, rundown. 1 million subscribers on that channel. And when we do that, I think that's like the next chapter. We're going to step it up even more, step it up again, reevaluate what we're doing, and come up with some really big plans to do some really crazy stuff. So we're on that push. Over 30,000 of you subscribed during the week of Gumball, which means a lot. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to hit that 1 million. And one of the things I always thought about sharing, just one thing really, it's not the million milestone thing, but one thing that I want to share is my actual story, my true story, which I've never spoken about publicly. And I guess I'll explain that once the channel hits 1 million subscribers. But I guess I have the most unlikely backstory, considering what I do now for a living, and the fact that it involves me talking publicly and talking to camera so much. So if you want to hear that story, I've decided to do a sort of sit down, one take, truthful insight into my actual story and what got me here, and how it's incredibly unlikely that I managed to be here, considering my childhood, as it were. So if you fancy that, I'm going to gear that up for when we hit 1 million. It's something that I've wanted to speak about but never really found the right time. But I think that's a milestone that is substantial enough, given the circumstances being so unlikely, that I think it's the right time. So let me know in the comments if you want to hear about that, and I'll prepare an in-depth explanation to it. Anyway, ramen time. All right, actually pretty good. So I haven't been able to check in online. I think because I adjusted my flight. The original flight for me, it was just too late. I wasn't getting home in time. So adjusted my flight. I think it was pretty last minute, and I think that's why I wasn't able to check in online. So been killing time, doing some emails. Hopefully this check-in desk is open, and I'm going to forget about the fact that I could have had another hour and a half in bed. So let's go see. It's a nice airport. You got to remember, Singapore is tiny. It's actually classed as a city-state. It's one of the few, I guess, countries, states in the world that is majoritively all city. So it's while it's incredibly wealthy as a state, it is quite small. So Hence the airport being quite small, I guess. Right, head over to backdrop 13. With some luck, yeah, I could see it. Emirates is alive. All right. Let's see what we can do about this situation. Not checking any bags yet, thanks. All right, checked in. Seamless. Emirates is one of my all-time favorites. I recently flew with Cathay Pacific, also fantastic. I still think they have the best sort of in-flight food / menu. One of the cool things about Cathay is that at any time of the flight, be it in the middle of the night, whatever, you can press a button and order a burger, which is quite cool. Emirates, however, as a complete package, still my all-time favorite. Now, one of the things that I need to start thinking about is that hour and 15 layover. It sounds a lot. It's not that much time, actually. So we're gonna have to rush off the plane, make sure I speak to someone at the other side to like double confirm the gates. I have to do security again, like bag checks, but not immigration again. So that'll shave some time. But an hour and 15 is an hour and 15 until the plane takes off. That's not an hour and 15 that I have to get on the plane. It's probably more like 40 minutes. And Dubai airport's a big airport. So when I get there, I'll fast track my ass to getting through. All right, through security. Now, this is not something I often say about airports, but Singapore airport is one that I've always wanted to travel through. Now, I'm not sure if I'm in the right terminal for it or however this goes, but I know there's an incredible feature in Singapore airport somewhere that just so happens to be the world's tallest man-made waterfall. Fun fact, Singapore airport was also voted the world's best airport, which is saying something if you think about how many mainstream airports there are. I mean, just check out the shopping in this place. It's pretty serious. So I want to go and find this waterfall. It's called the Jewel. By the looks of things, it would suggest that it's in the very center of the airport. I'm hoping my terminal takes me to this place because it'd be awesome to share that, but here we are. It's starting to get light. I'm still way too early. I could have easily had another hour and a half in bed. Check this out. They got fish in the airport swimming around here. Look, amongst all this foliage. That's quite cool. But one thing I'll say about Singapore, it is such a beautiful city. It's got magnificent architecture, obviously man-made architecture, punctuated by the most beautiful lush foliage, trees, greenery, parkland. It kind of, like, to describe it, it would be like Hong Kong meets Dubai. You know, it's like incredible architecture, but loads of greenery as well. And I think that they're trying to bring that theme in through the airport by having, you know, fish in the airport punctuated by greenery. I've got a feeling though we're just scratching the surface of that theme. Right, totally gutted. So the Jewel, it's called, which is the world's tallest indoor waterfall and incredible gardens, etc. First of all, it's not in this terminal. Second of all, it doesn't open until 10 a.m. So even if it was in this terminal, I couldn't show you. Oh, which really sucks. I was really looking forward to that. I might just throw in a quick bit of B-roll to show you what I was talking about. But I really wanted to see that. The other thing I just learned by asking someone where that place is and when it opens is Singapore Airport has movie theaters that are free and open 24 hours a day. So if you have a situation like me where you've arrived at the airport way too early, go in and catch the latest films for free. Maybe I'll do that while I'm hanging around. But I'm gutted. I really wanted to see that. Really wanted to see that. Never mind. I also just learned that Terminal 1 has a rooftop swimming pool. You know, just in case you fancy a splash. As far as airport shops go, this is niche. Popcorn only shop. Look at this. All the different kinds of popcorn. It's Bit overkill of my hand for size, bit overkill to maybe take on a plane. But they got it all. All the different flavours. There's a smaller part. That could be quite cool. There you go. Chicago style popcorn only store. Okay, so I may not have found the world's tallest indoor waterfall, but they do have a lily garden in the middle of my terminal, which, you know, I'll take as second best. What is it with eggs around here? Salted eggs? Really? Right. Controversial one. I'll tell you about these in a minute. How you doing?
Good, sir. Yourself?
Good, thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks very much.
So welcome. Enjoy your breakfast.
Thank you very much. Whew, nice chill space. That's the other thing with Emirates. They've generally got really good lounges, most main airports. And this one's, looks like it's just me flying apparently. There's no one here. That's cool. All right, coffee, caffeine, and I'll tell you about these. If I hadn't have just eaten, these omelets look great. There's good looking breakfast here. Good looking breakfast. No eggs either. No hidden eggs. Fast. Nectar of the gods. Right. Let's talk about these. So if you're a long-time subscriber of the channel, you may have seen me wearing nothing but blazers for the last few years. Now, I went to the Nike store in Singapore yesterday, actually, in search of a fresh pair of blazers. And to my surprise, the guy at the store, and this was a flagship store, Orchard Street, Singapore, right next to the Apple store. This wasn't like an independent. I go in looking for a fresh pair of blazers because the ones that I wore on the rally destroyed. And I speak with the guy there, and he says, Nike's discontinued the blazer. And at first I thought I didn't hear him correctly. But apparently Nike's discontinued the blazer. Now, I was only looking on their website maybe 3 weeks ago, and you could go full ID and still order blazers. That might be the case online. I'm not sure. I still need to check. But I loved blazers because they were thin enough profile to almost be a driving shoe, but still sort of fashion and lifestyle enough to be a daily shoe, right? And they just sort of worked. Now, I've always liked Jordans. They're cool. And frankly speaking, there's a much wider array of colors and styles available in Jordans, but they're just a chunkier shoe. Like it's a beast of a trainer. I've never actually driven in these yet because I got them yesterday. But generally, I found the chunkier the shoe, the worse they are for driving in. Now, they're not miles more chunky than a blazer, but it's enough, right? But these are cool. This is like a dark green on white, kind of timeless. But I'm going to see when I get back what it's like dancing in a manual car with these. In an auto, I mean, I left foot brake in autos anyway. It's just going to be like driving a go-kart. So I don't think, in something like the Senna, for example, it'll be an issue. But on the manual cars, it might be slightly different. So I'm going to see how these turn out. I kind of like them from a style point of view. They're chunkier. They're perhaps not as elegant, as it were. But I like them. And, as I mentioned, in terms of colors and options, you can get a lot more in Jordans unless you go ID with blazers on the Nike website, then that's a totally different story. So let's see, when I get back home, I'm going to check those blazers out online, because if they still do them online, I'll be happy, but I just needed some fresh shoes. So Nike store it is. It's my first pair of Jordans in like 5 years. So let me know what you think. Are you a blazer person or you're a Jordan person? I like them. Now this is something new. The security is at the gate. Like, in order to get into the airport, I actually haven't been through security yet. Like, look, I'm in here. I can't say I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever been to security where the security is actually getting on the plane, not a security dedicated stage. Interesting concept. Seems to be less of a queue, of course, because, well, it's only one plane that's going through this security, not the entire airport. Quite cool. Bed. Okay, just arrived in Dubai. Thankfully, and this is what I was talking about with Emirates being the best, is as long as you book it, you get one of these fast track transfer. It's like an electric golf cart that goes through the airport. For anyone who hasn't been, Dubai airport, Emirates airport, it's one of the biggest in the world. And when you've got a very tight window to get your next plane, something like this is incredibly helpful. Connections, yes please. Now, one of the craziest things about Dubai Airport is that the business class lounge is a business class building. So just check out this floor I'm on right now. All right, so everything that you're seeing here, this is all classed as business class. This is the whole lounge. So all of the gates are all off here. It's not like there's a lounge. It's an entire building. This whole thing is all business class. It's kind of hard to get used to, because as far as lounges go, you know, they sort of stand on their own normally, and every few gates there's endless food. It's quite cool, man. Something else they've discontinued along with Nike Blazers, apparently, A380s. I don't think they're making A380s anymore, which is a real shame. It's such a special experience getting on a double-decker plane. Well, I rushed so much, I'm literally the first on the plane. This is, however, one of their upgraded ones. Let's have a look. 6G. Yeah, so these are their sort of upgraded business class seats, which is quite cool. So at least they're extending the life of these planes. The first 7-hour flight wasn't too bad. I slept 5 hours on it. The second 7-hour flight, Dubai to London, for whatever reason, is dragging out. And this cold is manifesting itself heavy. Thankfully, one of the cabin crew gave me some paracetamol, which sorted me out. But anyone familiar to the channel will be detecting a distinctly nasally profile exiting my voice box right now. So honestly, I've said this before, not sure if you've tuned in when I've said it, but you need a holiday after Gumball. It's no joke. Like, you burn the candle at both ends. You're riding adrenaline for an entire week. And it's intense both cognitively and physically, as well as the time zone shift, right? I mean, look at this. Started about here this morning. Now I'm up here. I got fully on that time zone. I've been there for 2 weeks. Just as you've got yourself on the local time zone, you rip yourself back out of it again. It's going to take me a week, honestly, to get back over it. So, and then back to it back home. And some cool stuff actually coming up back home. New car additions, 2 in fact, which is going to be fun. One of them's arrived. One of them's arriving next month, and then I'm going to share with you the next few updates of things which have been in the pipeline for some time. So stay tuned. Hopefully, my nasal cavity will be back to normal soon. And we're back. Only a few weeks away, and it reminded me when I looked out of the wet grey window, only a few weeks away from the clocks going back again. And that's kind of when the automotive industry in the UK, by and large, hibernates. We have to start thinking outside the box to bring you guys good content. So maybe some more trips abroad. Kind of end up doing a week or 2 in Dubai in November. Hopefully I'm hosting the Icons of Porsche event again. Hasn't been confirmed, but I know the event's happening. They just haven't confirmed me yet. so with some luck, I'll be hosting that, and we can bring you some content out in the Middle East. But as I mentioned earlier, there's 2 cars turning up. Not the right time of year for one of them. Arguably an interesting time of year for the other. And the other one, which is coming later, we've never had this brand on the channel in the garage before, and I'm incredibly excited for it. Like, incredibly, because we've got some big plans for that one. Anyway, my journey doesn't stop here. Now I have a 2-hour journey to get the M3 touring, and then another hour and a half in the M3 touring back home. Look at that, 7 o'clock, pitch black outside. Missed the Middle East already. No belt for me. Can you believe I did the best part of 3 weeks on that? I mean, other than me packing a hard case, which was a real rookie error for Gumball, I think I pretty much nailed that. Good luck for these guys now.
Coventry, isn't it?
That's the one, thank you. If there isn't anything more cliche than arriving back to the dark and the wet in the UK.
It is the UK.
Crikey.
And it's autumn anyway.
I know. What's going on?
Where was your flight from? Was it Dubai or was it somewhere?
Well, I came from Singapore.
Singapore, yeah, nice.
Singapore, then to Dubai, then to here. But the last 2 weeks have been, like, honestly the hottest I've ever been anywhere. And
in Singapore, yeah?
well, I actually started in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
And then I did a road rally
Nice.
up from Vietnam into Cambodia,
Wow.
into Thailand, Malaysia, and then Singapore.
That's
And
really
it was
nice.
hot as hell, man. Interestingly, tropical rain too, but there's something about the rain out there you didn't mind
Yes,
it.
quickly and
Yeah, but over here, there's something about the rain you do mind.
No, this one, it's a non-stop.
This one?
Since this morning, like
Really?
3 days now, yeah.
Oh.
You got dry a bit like during the day and then,
Yeah.
they're expecting floodings anyway this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Welcome
It dries
home.
up on Saturday and then, yeah, it goes back to rain again.
Wonderful.
Yeah, not a good thing to look for, isn't it?
No. All right. Ah, man, crazy when you travel these miles and then you return home to your car. So familiar, so far from home. I am destroyed with tiredness. Right, to the M3. Okay. Hello, old friend. Let me guess, gonna need a lot of fuel? No, not too bad. All right, seamless transition. Back to the M3 Touring. This thing has been such an awesome workhorse. I mean, we use it for all sorts. We use it for tracking, team car, support car. I use it a lot for various different work activities, crunching miles to go to meetings. But it's also just been a great little project car too. Got the Auto ID body kit on it, HRE wheels. It's been lowered 20 mil. It's had the CSL headlights on it. I just love this thing. And this time of year, now that they've introduced four-wheel drive to this platform, I mean, gone are the days where M3s weren't able to put the power down in the wet, which is a good job, because I've returned home to rain not dissimilar from Saigon, ironically. Pretty brutal out here. So the reality of what happens now is I can already feel it. This is such a major come down. If there was ever a come down, this is one. I mean, it's been the most unbelievable week. For those of you who have followed along over on the main channel, Gumball this year. I mean, it was the 25th anniversary of Gumball 3000. It was a real pleasure and an honor to do it with Max. First of all, he's my brother-in-law, and we don't get to spend a lot of time together throughout the year as it is. And I think I probably spent more time with him in the car this week than I do most of the year. So that in itself is a nice occasion. But also for him, it's huge, right? I mean, 25 years of doing anything is something to be celebrated. But 25 years of Gumball, I mean, it well and truly is the world's most rock and roll supercar rally. And it's, you know, calling it a supercar rally is a real disservice. If you've watched the content, it is so much more than that. It's the people, the places, the crowds, the Gumball Foundation, the impact that has on communities that Gumball passes through and supports with the funds that get raised. I mean, it's just magic, start to finish. But what we've just done, I'm not sure you could recreate that, even with a group of friends. I mean, it's there has been diplomatic exemptions for the route that we've done, because you can't just cross over borders in those territories with cars from foreign lands. You also can't cross over in that territory with a right-hand drive car into a left-hand drive territory, and vice versa. So all of these diplomatic exemptions that Gumball have arranged for us to cross borders seamlessly, the insurance alone was an absolute nightmare. The logistics of getting cars from all over the world. I think we had people from 50 different nationalities drive in this Gumball, and if it wasn't for filming it, it doesn't matter what I'd tell you, I'm not sure you'd believe half of it. We did eventually get the final footfall figures from the city of Ho Chi Minh, and said that over the days that Gumball were there, over 1 million people turned out to see Gumball. I mean, isn't that insane? 1 million people. So the scale of interest, the support, the passion, just how proud people were to have us and host us in their countries. I think of all the countries, Cambodia as a host country, the passion and love from the Cambodians was just exceptional. The police, so check this out, over 2,400 police were involved in shutting the roads through the entire length of Cambodia for Gumball. We had our own Gumball lane, our own Gumball roads at times, closed for us entirely just for the rally. It was unprecedented on a scale of something that you would associate almost with the Olympics. It was unbelievable. So I just wanted to really say to you guys a massive thank you for tuning in, and to Max a huge congratulations on achieving what he's achieved and pulling off what he did this week. It was just remarkable, and I've been so happy to have been able to have taken you guys along for that journey, because I'm hoping those of you that watched it, you'll all agree, truly spectacular. But that doesn't detract from the fact that I've got back to dark, wet, cold, clock's about to go back Britain, and man, is it a slap in the face come down. Okay? And the reality of what happens now is, because the rally's been so intense and it's been go, 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 burning the candle at both ends for the best part of 2 weeks straight, actually, I'm going to get back, and the next 2 days are me at a desk doing admin, catching up on grown-up stuff, tax and God knows what, that I know I need to deal with. So that's the reality of what I'm going to do for the next few days. And then after all of the admin is out of the way, I'm then going to put my thinking cap on and get back into content mode. We're on a real roll right now with the channel, thanks to you guys. For over 30,000 of you subscribed during the week of Gumball, which is remarkable. We want to keep that momentum going, because it's my goal to reach 1 million subscribers by the end of this year. Sounds a big push, but we're on 932,000 I think now. So, you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. We just got to keep banging out that great content and hopefully encouraging you guys to subscribe over on the main channel. Also, it would appear that the Jordans are not too bad for driving in. I'm not going to go so far as to say that I'd hit the track in them. Definitely not track day shoes. Whereas Blazers, I genuinely would, even though I normally would change it to some driving shoes. Blazers, I used to, you know, drive those around Nürburgring, no problem. I'm still going to get in and go on the website and see if you can still order Blazers on Nike ID, which I think you still can. But happy to be exploring some Jordans too. So from an automatic driving point of view, no problem at all. Going to get into some more focused machinery and see what these things are like. I can already tell you couldn't drive a Valkyrie in these. The pedal box down there would be too tight, whereas Blazers are Valkyrie approved. So yeah, daily drivers like this, all good. Let's try it in something like the RS 4 litre, the 997. That'll be an interesting observation. Anyway, trivial but true stuff. I'm now going to concentrate on driving because it's absolutely tipping it down on the motorway, and from here back home it's pretty dull. See you next time when I've got my life back together. Hopefully my head cold's gone, my sore throat's gone, I've had some sleep, spent some time with the family, and I'll be fully rejuvenated to get back in the game, bringing you guys some awesome content. Ciao for now.